And we want to thank I Like Radio for keeping the funk alive all over the world, worldwide.
Taxman here. I invite you to join me each and every Thursday between the hours of 5 and 7 p.m. right here on iLive Radio, where we give you the very best in independent and neo-soul flavors. We also feature the UK Top 20 Independent Soul Chart, counting you down from number 20 all the way down to number 1. Why not check us out every Thursday between the hours of 5 to 7 right here on iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to music.
Join me, Uncle Funky, at noon Eastern Standard Time every Saturday for our music show, Give Me the Night, here on iLive Radio, and enjoy a nooner like nope.
Attention all musicians, bands, associations, clubs, and organizations that represent collective styles of music across Canada. Now is the time to rebuild our collective music nation. Genres like hip-hop, R&B, jazz, soul, reggae, gospel, and more united. The Collective Music Nation is a non-profit organization committed to the development of collective music. Free memberships are available now. Collective Music Nation, one voice, strength in unity.
This is Miss Care keeping you connected with your iLive 5x5, brought to you by iLive Music, sponsored by Independent Hype, and powered by The Hook Entertainment. Contribute to the conversation by using hashtag iLive5x5.
For the latest and greatest in soul music and more, stay tuned to iLive Radio throughout the week.
Connect with our team at iliveradio.com or follow us at iLive Radio across social platforms.
The number one hit music station.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
Hey everyone, it's Donna Savage from Talk with Savage Desires on iLive Radio. How is everyone tonight? So tonight we have the power couple here on iLive Radio, where we're going to be talking about power mate and how to attract the person of your life, either male or female or just great friends. So we're going to be having Mika and Rio on tonight. Rio and Mika definitely have a story that I would love to share, especially in the COVID time, because honestly, you single people out there or persons who are married, I don't know what's going on in terms of, putting the spark into the bedroom, or those single persons who are always by themselves. I would love to know. I want them to kind of explain how to attract that mate. So just in case we have another lockdown again, at least you'll have an opportunity on how to attract that person in your life. So they're going to be talking about different ways of how to attracting and what is it that they want to do and how to do and train you in a 15 minutes. They're both coaches, and I'm sure they will be available for you to call or connect because they're two awesome people. Mika, Rio, how are you?
Hey, Donna, we are amazing. How are you?
I'm amazing myself. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, Power Couple.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us. We're really excited to be here. Every time we're with you, Donna, it's great questions, great conversation. So we're excited.
I love it. So you know what? Because we're going to have a lot of things to cover, I'm going to dive right in. And Mika. A couple years ago, you wrote a book on online dating.
Girl.
Before you met Mr. Rio. Yeah. So come on, tell me a little bit about this online dating after divorce escapade that you went through.
So online dating after divorce. Well, the actual book is called The Powerful Lessons I've Learned Online Dating After Divorce. And that book was birthed after my divorce in 2015, which, it was a sudden divorce. I was married for 11 years. You're doing the for everything. We don't believe in divorce. And then boom, here comes this D word. And I'm like, well, forget you. I'm a date. So a girlfriend of mine introduced me to online dating, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay.
I was just like, I'm going to have my fun. I'm going to live my best life. And then the experiences. And I remember every time I would tell, people, my friends, whoever, all the stories that I was going through, they would just be laughing hysterically. And I heard it a few times, like, you should write a book, you should write a book, you should write a book. And someone actually challenged me that I could write the book and I can do it in 2 weeks. And I was like, bet. So I did it, and I did it in a week. And that's how the book was born.
Okay, so the book was birthed from your online dating, and everything that, if I remember correctly, it was like the worst dating experience.
Oh my goodness. So, girl, it went from the man who showed up at my house in his busted out car wearing 3 different shades of yellow from head to toe and light blue jeans. And then he had the nerve to say to me, because I didn't agree to go on a second date with him. First, he told me on the date that I was the one who caused my divorce. That was strike 1. And then he told me, because I didn't agree to go on a second date with him, that why did I come out to eat? Did I just come for the free meal? I'm like, dude, I had 1 chicken wing and a couple pieces of fries because I was not hungry when I came on the date.
Wow. All right. So I get the idea of your book. So everything in that book was just a bomb.
Oh my God. I can't even begin to talk about Mr. Bathroom.
You know, probably if we go through everything that I want, I probably will ask you to tell that story.
I just don't. Y'all just need to just buy the book. They just need to go buy the book and.
Oh my God. No, you definitely have to tell that story if you have at least 2 minutes, like really high level.
Sure.
Okay. So you
only for you.
Of course, for me. So you have this terrible experience so that you had to write a book, right?
Yes,
but that didn't stop you now from going online to meet Mr. Rio.
Yes,
what changed your mind to say, let me just try this again?
So what actually changed my mind is when I was having those experiences, I knew that those experiences were not what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that deep down inside, I wanted companionship. I wanted to feel loved. I wanted to give someone my love.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I legit started talking to God, like, God, this cannot be it. This cannot be the rest of my life trying to deal with all of these dudes and the ridiculousness that's coming at me. So I was like, okay, all of the situations that I've been through, who was the common denominator? It was me.
Uh-huh.
So in that moment, I realized that there was something or maybe things that I needed to change about Mika because I was attracting all of these terrible experiences. And the reason why I came to that conclusion is because I had other girlfriends who were online dating and these things weren't happening to them. So because I started studying the laws of attraction and all of that, I knew that I was attracting these things to me. So I had to dig a little bit deep and actually do the self-work that we all talk about. I had to venture down that path.
All right. So Mr. Rio, so how did you ended up on the dating site that you guys went on together?
Well, I tell you what, in mine won't. I won't go into metaphysics and all the spiritual attraction on this. And I'll make it real light. What happened was a friend of mine, funny enough, told me, Rio, there's this site online with Black folks that like to travel. You should go check it out, right? You should go take a look at it. Okay, cool. I went to go take a look at it, and I was dabbling in the group, just messing around. It was nothing about dating. It was not trying to hook up, none of that. It was just about travel. There was a comment that popped up that I responded to that Mika really liked. It was kind of juicy and she loved it. And she hopped right into my inbox, Donna, and stayed there. So yeah, that's
the truth and shame the devil.
That's really what happened.
We all know that's not what happened.
It's okay. It's okay. You guys can fight. You guys can fight about it afterwards. So that's where you guys met.
Yeah.
So for everyone that's online listening, or Mika lives in Toronto and Rio lives in the States, right? So Rio, you were just on there to party and just to travel, and Mika went on there with a total different agenda, but you guys came together somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think before I hopped on though, I denied a lot of inbox requests because I was looking for a wife. I was looking for a queen, but I wasn't intentionally on that site looking for a queen. But I knew that's what I wanted for my next relationship, and the universe aligned it for me, and it happened to be through that platform. So I think putting myself out there and speaking my truth really helped me attract my power mate.
You know, you guys are making it sound so amazing in terms of, you know, the law of attraction and, you know, the universe, and I know what I want. And it sounds fantabulous, you know. But for those women and men out there who keep saying that, listen, I can't find nobody. Where is everyone? Like, where are the men? Where are the women? We have so many single people around. But before we answer that, Mika and Rio, COVID is happening. You know, how are we addressing this in terms of these single women and men at home and don't have the ability to go there and mix and mingle? What would be what would be your advice to those people who are actually looking for people? We're looking for some, like, seriously.
The one and only thing that I would say is they have to be intentional about what they want, because they know they actually want it, and they have to take strategic action. Yes, there's COVID, but guess what? The whole world is on lockdown. And what does that mean? It doesn't matter where you are, there's somebody else out there who's single that's looking for the same thing that you're looking for. So what are the actions that you're taking on a daily basis to prepare yourself for this person to come into your life? Or are you just sitting down and saying, oh, I'm single, it's COVID, it's lockdown, I can't date, there's no one out there for me. Pay attention to your self-talk. That's the one piece of advice that I would give.
Okay, and Rio, what would your advice be as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say, just real quick, I would say the first thing to do is you got to realize you're not the only great single in the world at all. There's a million trillion other singles. I think they're only good single, and there's no other good ones in the world. So you have to realize there's other great singles out there, and they're out there in abundance. That's the first thing. The second thing you have to do is get out of your traditional way of dating. You got to get out of your own way when it comes to finding love. So if you are afraid to online date because you've heard horror stories, have you heard any of the wonderful stories that came from online dating? Almost 50% of people now prefer online dating than meeting in person, speaking of COVID. So if you're going to date differently, you have to open up your mind for new possibilities in order to find love.
Do you find that your clients, if you ask them what is it that they're looking for in a person, would they be able to define it to define exactly what they want? Because I guess in order for you to attract that perfect mate, you have to know exactly what you want. As mentioned, Mika mentioned, it has to be intentional.
Exactly.
You know, so go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I would say the answer to that question is, in the beginning, no. Because that's the reason why they come to us and we work with them. But through the process of working with them, and it doesn't even take a long time, they can definitely state, we do this thing in some of the training that we do, it's called your relationship mission statement. It's a part of one of our programs. And just like when you have a business and you're able to tell somebody your elevator pitch, or, you know, blurt out your mission statement for your business, it's the exact same thing that they develop for their relationship.
Yeah.
So question for you both, Rio, more so for you. I know for women, because I can speak on a woman's side, because we can get kerfuffled when it comes to exactly what is it that we need, right? In terms of, you know, because I would be asking a lot of women and they're saying, you know, they bring height and everything else in it, or an amazing job. But for real, for the men, when men come to the group, and I know probably come to you and saying, you know, brother, hook me up. What is it that I need to do to attract this woman? You know, what would be the step? Would it be the same step as a woman? Mika, you can answer the woman part if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, excellent question. I mean, the first thing that men do, or that most people we work with do, is they know what they don't want. They're really crystal clear on what they don't want. So to make it easy, we make it really simple. Go from what you don't want and literally be the alchemist and turn it into what I do want. So go from what you definitely don't want and just flip that verbiage to what you definitely do want. So a lot of times men don't necessarily have a crystal clear vision of the woman they want until they meet the woman. So that's something that's different between men and women. When men find or touch or are around or feel the aura or energy of a particular woman, then that's when the light switch happens. Like, oh my God, wait, you're hitting everything that I thought I could ever possibly want. So yeah, I did have a list. I had a checklist, but I found that Mika far exceeded my checklist, and I could just throw my whole checklist in the trash because she was better than what I anticipated. So I think that's a big thing for men, is that you have to be in the mindset of I want my queen, but also know that, hey, when I find her, then that's when I'll know for sure.
Really? So men come with more of what they don't want rather than what is it that they want?
Oh, absolutely. But I think that's kind of across the board, right? Because we know pain and we connect with pain more than we do pleasure sometimes, right? So people know the pain they went through and they know they don't want it again. So they're scared of it. So when they come in with fear, right, what a lot of singles do, they're scared of what could happen if, this happens. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times we have to change that energy into an attraction energy, right? So what they're doing is they're attracting more of what they don't want. That's all they focus on. So we do a lot of mindset shifting into changing that and being the alchemist for them to change that energy into attraction.
Okay, so I see where you're saying. So okay, I get what you're saying, because I so agree with concentrating on what I want so much more than what the things that I don't want. And the reason why this is such an important thing too is because of my own journey. Because I remember growing up, with my parents before they got divorced, I would look at my parents and said, I don't want an alcoholic, I don't want a womanizer, I don't, to the point that I married exactly what I didn't want.
That's right.
It was so in my face that it felt so comfortable because that's all I was looking at. And, it manifested so fast in terms of what I said that I don't want. So I really love the what you just said about, changing your mindset or changing person's mindset, as if you're unlearning so much of these traditional way or the past hurt, and, giving them new memories. Exactly what that they want. Mika.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Rio touched on it, and you touched on it, Donna. We have to understand that one of my favorite books, The Alchemist, we are the alchemists of our own lives. Just like you said, you thought about what you did not want so much. That's what manifested, and it manifested so fast. So if you sit right and you think about what you do want, for women, we're created to be nurturers. We're the emotional beings. So we can more connect with emotions. So one of the things I did before meeting Rio, I connected not so much with him as the man, but the emotions of how I would feel when he was going to be in my life. And sometimes it was so deep, it got to the point where I would get goosebumps and my palms would start to sweat, and I can actually feel his energy. Why? Because I was now in the mode of, when I am with my husband, when my husband loves me like this, when he kisses me like this, when he touches me like this, when he speaks to me like this, how am I going to feel? So as women, we touch more, and we need to be falling more in love with the emotion of him rather than how tall he is or how dark he is, or if he has a beard. That's all very surface level. All that stuff is great. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you're looking for what we talk about and what we teach, which is a power mate relationship, which is a much deeper connection, there's certain things you got to do to go below the surface of that.
So you're pulling away from the physical, but you're digging deep and internal.
Absolutely. Because guess what? A person's physical appearance, that can fade, yours included. So what's going to happen after 20, 30 years? Because remember, we don't want to get into this to be jumping in and out of marriage and relationships. So when you think about, I want to grow old with him, I want to be in my 70s, and we're walking down the street like, old with their grandkids or whatever have you. How do I want to feel about him or when I'm with him at that time? Not just now and looking at him because he's got a six-pack and he looks good.
So it's more about the feeling. Okay, so
absolutely,
this is how I want to feel when I meet my mate.
Right? Absolutely.
So how about that individual? How should she be feeling about herself? What if she has so many things that's going on that's not she hasn't gotten rid of, forgiveness and so forth. So would it be them working on themselves first?
Absolutely. So anything that we do, the very first step is self first. We talk about a power mate, but the first step in attracting your power mate is power me. Power Mika. Does Mika love herself? Does Mika know who she is? That will in turn will allow Mika to understand what she wants. Because then Mika will realize the things that she says that she wants, it's because of her and her core and not what was imposed upon her. So the very first thing that anyone, but especially single women in these times, has to do, use this time of your singleness, especially during COVID, to actually practice that self-love and self-care. And if you don't know how to do it, in the book that we wrote together, we actually have a chapter called A Clearing, and it's a workbook. So not only do you read or stories and or version of our clearing, that what we did before we met each other, you actually get exercises and questions of what you need to do to get to your root of your emotions, of past relationships, of past trauma. Because a lot of times you got people trying to get into relationships and all that stuff, they're carrying it with them. And then they wonder why the relationships don't work. You can't enter new territory that you're trying to create with baggage that you should have thrown out with the bathwater.
All right, lady. I was going to say ladies because it's going on as usual. We're going to go on a commercial break. So when we get back, we're going to take up from where we stopped. All right, because I want to dig deep into the men part of it. So we're back in 2 seconds.
Hey, this is Emily King, and you're listening to iLive Radio.
The internet's number one on the World Wide Web. iLive Radio.
You're listening to iLive Radio. This is Jay Most. Enjoy.
How you doing? What's good? It's Nkechi the Lyrical, sitting in my zone here, vibing and listening to iLive. And if you don't know, get to know. And if you do know, you don't know. And if you know, then relax and enjoy the ride.
Attention à tous les musiciens, groupes, associations, clubs et organisations qui représentent les styles collectifs de musique à travers le Canada. Le moment est venu de reconstruire nos genres de nations musicales collectives comme le hip-hop, le R&B, le jazz, le soul, le reggae, le gospel et plus unis. La Nation de la musique collective est une organisation à but non lucratif engagée dans le développement de la musique collective. Des adhésions gratuites sont disponibles dès maintenant. La Nation de la musique collective, une seule voix, la force dans l'unité.
Nothing makes you look, feel, and perform better than a tailor-made suit. Just like a tailor-made suit, a mortgage is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Canadian Tailored Mortgage Solutions will customize a mortgage to perfectly suit your needs. Come and get fitted for your mortgage today at 1-877-834-9346 or reach us on the web at ctmortgagesolutions.com. COVID safety protocols are in place. Brokerage license number 13228.
You're listening to iLive Radio.
Here are some words of wisdom. Don't change your station. Don't change your station.
Welcome back to iLive Radio with Donna Savage. We have Mika and Rio from the coaches of Power Mate. So in the first 15 minutes or 20 minutes where we're talking about attracting your ideal mate through cleansing and oneness, and to be intentional of what is it that you really want. So Rio, in terms of speaking to gentlemen, men, because most singles group or website, I know there's always a lot of women to men. Not sure why. Everybody is complaining that they want an ideal person, but they're not open enough to at least start the process. So in your suggestion, because I know we have to, as a coach, we're making suggestion and we're going to be that person bringing out questions out of our clients. Do you find that a lot of men have their back against the wall in changing certain things about themselves in order to propel forward?
Good question. You know what? I think that a lot of times, let me answer one question that you asked. It was a really good question about why come men don't show up sometimes. Women have always been the first to show up. I mean, I don't think it's anything new. I think women have always shown up they're at every conference, they're at Bible study, they're at everything. That's what women do. Women are big on self-development, and we respect our queens for that, because they always rise to the occasion. So we love our queens for that. I think for a lot of times for men, we have so many things we have to get in order before we try to find love that sometimes we never find love. Like it's so far on the back burner with everything else we have to do first to be a man, that sometimes love falls by the wayside. So what we'll do is we'll have substitutes. We'll have things that'll feed our ego for a little bit. We'll find women that give us the feeling of wifey, but do we really want to make her wifey? Not necessarily. Sometimes that's the thing that's personal for us, right? Because we feel like we haven't risen to a level of maturity financially, mentally, whatever. There's always that block there. So I think that you find a lot of women that, just like how women go to college and graduate, they have a goal, they set targets, and they go and meet them, and they're like, I gotta get it. Men sometimes are not as ambitious, especially when it comes to relationships. And when they are, I think that a lot of times we haven't learned what that means. Like, we don't know what dating is. Most people don't even know how to date. They don't know how to court, and they definitely don't know how to recognize the right partner. So a lot of times with men, it's really breaking it down to an elementary level, because they've never seen the example of what love looks like when it's healthy. Well, and we do a lot of ego versus true emotion. And a lot of times people just want to feed their relationships. They want to feed their ego and not actually be in a relationship, right? So they won't love to feed their ego. So power mates is completely different. A lot of times we have to break that down with both sexes, but especially with the fellas. We gotta really break that part down.
Okay, you know what? You mentioned something that sounds really interesting. That men doesn't have an example of what love looked like. I find that real interesting, because love isn't supposed to be, I'm speaking as a feminine or as a woman. Love is supposed to be, because you know what? We don't have a lot of people to show example for love, but for love, it's supposed to be a natural thing, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. It's supposed to be a natural thing. How I want to treat that person how I want to feel. You know, if I do something for someone and it makes me feel good, this is what I'm going to be propelling or showing my partner. You know, so we as West Indian or just humans, we live by example. That's supposed to be the thing. You know, we live by example because, you know, how we want to feel is how we want people to treat us. You know, for so many people don't know how to show love anymore, because number one, they have no idea. It starts with self. They don't know how to feel or what it's supposed to feel like. I remember growing up, Mika, as island people would show us love by feeding us, you know, giving us, you know, because they want us to feel good. And if the shoe was on the other foot, and, you know, as children, we're going to feed them, they would not know how to receive it. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, I think it's a load of crap when men says, you know, we don't have examples on how to show love. You know what I mean? I hear it so many times. A couple weeks ago, we had 3 guys on here talking about it, and, you know, and I mentioned, you would say to a woman, you know what? I am not ready for a relationship, but I will treat you like a wifey. Then let's say Mika come on, you know, they got what they want from me. Then Mika came on, and then all of a sudden Mika becomes the wife. You know, so here we are as women. Oh, he says this, and he's treating me like this. But at the end of the day, I didn't get the wifey or the ring material, you know? So, you know, it's just a load of crap.
Girl.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, listen, I hear what you're saying 100%, and I think you're right in a lot of instances. I do think that I think that everybody makes excuses. So empowerment, we really do a lot of work at breaking down the excuses from the jump. Like we don't do.
Sure, you do.
Yeah, we don't do excuses. But the thing is, we have to look at. I like to look at the statistics. I say that right, babe?
Yes,
country king.
It's okay. We understand.
Don't worry about it. You know what I'm trying to say. I like to look at the stats. So, you know, we're at an all-time high of young boys. I'm going to speak about Black boys being raised by moms, right? Single moms doing wonderful jobs. But there's a feminine and masculine energy that we don't see in the house. So yes, we do have a representation of love, but the love that we received for a lot of us was the love we got from our mom. Now we get with a mate and we say, well, wait. Why come you ain't loving me like my mom does? Like, why are you hard? Like, why are you acting like this? Why are you not giving me the love that I'm used to? So, and then when you talk about the dating part and the mutual respect and all that, that goes into learning just how to court women. And I think that a lot of us, we didn't know, or we don't know how to court women from the standpoint that we saw somebody in our personal lives doing it. Now, I might have seen something on TV. I might have an idea of what it is. I might have to listen to my woman, I have to listen to her and tell me what she wants. But as far as me understanding what that looks like, no, I don't think that's the thing that we see, especially in our community, often enough. And so yeah, without making an excuse for it, I think that's the reality that we're dealing with, and something that we have to work on changing. We want to see healthier relationships.
Who taught you how to kiss, Rio?
Who taught me how to date?
Kiss.
Oh, kiss. Oh, talking about a kiss. Oh my gosh, that's a great question. You know what? I think it was. Oh well, I had an incident when I was young with a lady who kissed me. She taught me how to kiss. I'm not sure if that was a good thing or not, but she taught me how a man is supposed to kiss a woman. She was older than me, so I'm kind of telling on myself, and she taught me what felt good to a woman. So that's how I learned. I'm not sure how that. I'm not. No, it wasn't healthy. She was much older than me, but she did teach me what a woman wanted, and then nobody complained.
All right. Okay. So why I asked you that, lead by example. So here you have this older woman who taught you to kiss, but you wanted to make it better, right? You're right, make it better. So now you're leading with the heart, because that felt really good. So we're practicing. You didn't see your parents kissing. You saw, so somebody taught you, right? So this is where we are as humans. We get better. We see examples. We have TV. We have friends. You know what I mean? So we just get better with practice. That kiss smelled good. You can imagine if I fall in love with this person, no, meet Mika, the kiss got even more intensified, because they know there's love, right? There's love and there's understanding, and Mika make my heart just be nice, and and each and all parts of it just be nice from that beautiful kiss, because it was learned behavior. This makes me feel nice behavior, right? And it makes more sense. But so, because you know what? I like this. This makes it feel we're human first. We're energy first, right? So the energy not lie, Energy don't lie. So Mika, your turn. In terms of women, I know we talked about a bunch of stuff. So just pick out everything that resonates with you in terms of women, and and learning these things. Taking out those old paradigms, and coming up with new paradigm, like putting new memory in.
So, man, I'm gonna try to bottle this up.
Bottle it up, baby girl.
This is a lot. I'm gonna put it in a little can.
A little bit.
So first, I'm gonna talk to the women, all women.
Yes.
But I'm gonna touch on something that Donna said about the men. I'm gonna start with the fact that she said men spit a load of crap when they say they don't know how to love. Number one, I believe, it is my belief that exactly what you said, it's learned behavior. Why should a surgeon, why should a mortgage agent, why should an insurance agent, why should any career, somebody should dive into that career without learning what they're supposed to do? Your love life, your emotions, this relationship that you want to last is the exact same thing. So I agree with you, Donna. It is a load of crap. However, it's a load of crap that the men spit that's tolerated by these women. Why? You go back.
Drop mic. Can this be drop mic?
Please drop the mic, somebody, please. You go back to, right, learned behavior that we hold on to, the baggage, the childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been an incident. It could have been an assault. It could have been the fighting that you witnessed in the home, physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, all of that abuse.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a bad relationship. It could have been a toxic relationship with a mate or a friend or whoever. So now you're holding on to that, right? And now you're like, no, I don't want that. So when this man shows up and he spits a load of crap to you, you're like, oh my God, he's so beautiful. You don't hear the load of crap that he's spitting because in the beginning, your heart's thumping, like she said, and he makes you feel good. Now you're falling in love. So you forget or you push to the side the fact that, hold on, babe, this is Mika, and I understand who I am, and how you showed up right now spitting this load of crap is unacceptable to me. So I'm gonna need you to level up and come correct, because even though you didn't learn it, we're gonna learn together from here, because that's what I'm expecting.
And that goes for both sexes.
Exactly,
too,
and that's what
Definitely,
I'm expecting that because I'm giving it to you, so I deserve the same in return.
You know what, Mika, you said so much beautiful things just now, and it's just crazy. So all, as you said, women put up with so many things, but you know what too? It's memory. It's memory from even their childhood and what they're used to. So it's like this, it felt good. It's okay because it feels so good, although it's not a good situation, but it felt good. So let me hold on to this and go with it.
But here's the thing. When you you see, when you do all that self-work and you realize what really resonates to you at your core, you recognize the things that are attached to the trauma that you get rid of, and you start to create your new. So when you create your new and you're standing firm in it so much, you recognize that when somebody shows up and the feeling of that is familiar to the trauma, that don't live here no more. So you either come correct or you don't come at all, because what I'm going to give you is so beautiful. It deserves you to come correct.
So this is where the power mate comes in. This is where you're doing a lot of unlearning and putting memories in, eh?
Yes. And reprogramming. Yes.
Donnie, let me add this one thing. Mika, you guys made a great point. But I also want to say this: we primarily work with women, right? That's the majority of our group. That's the majority of our client base is women. And a lot of them also, we got to kick them off their high horse. They feel like they've arrived to a point where no man is good enough for my woman's greatness, and they don't know how to date either. Like they're not good at it either. So just because you feel like you deserve a great relationship doesn't mean you're ready for it, right? So that's something else I have to recognize. Yeah, you can have the energy that I deserve great man, and my man should do this. Yeah, I'm a boss woman, but guess what? You don't know how to date either, sis, because you've been dating a lot of guys who have not treated you like a man will. You've been dating with a lot of guys that have toxic energy, that's been beating you down, psychologically, and now you get ready for a king, like a real man. You don't know how to treat him. You don't know how to treat a man, so you lose kings all the time. They're not attracted to it. Right? You can't deal with waste men your whole life, or deal with men who are not kings your whole life, and then try to attract the king, and you don't know how to keep a king. So that's also something that women have to work on too. So yes, both of us have a lot of work to do to be ready.
Listen to Maria. I agree with you 100%. I remember before COVID, I think it was not last summer, the summer before, I did a meet and greet mingle, right? And I'm gonna tell you something. I left there with awe because every woman is there. I'm a powerful Black woman. I don't need this. And I'm looking at them, I'm thinking, okay, all right. So if you're such a powerful Black woman and you don't need a man to solidify you, or what are you doing here? Right. This is a mix and mingle to meet a gentleman. So there's no reason for you to be here then, right? There's you know what it is? And it's in everything that we do, guys, and everything that we do, it's all ego. You know, there's no humbleness and forthrightness and being truthful. You know, and people are not realizing that, you know, ego doesn't work. Ego doesn't live here anymore. You know, we have to be humble and be open to change, because if you're going to be always against the wall, in everything you do, not only in attaining a good lover or a husband, but even friends, a job, you know?
So I'm a challenge every woman out there to do one thing. Every time you sit and you reflect on the relationship that you would like to have, before you do that, reflect on yourself and say, you know what, Mika? The current state of you right now, the current state of your life, the current state of your emotions, the current state of your finances, the current state of your health, the current state of your physical appearance. Is that what this man, your power mate, is this who he's out there praying for? I challenge every woman to do that. And if you look at all those areas and the answer is not yes in every single area, you got some work to do.
Holy power.
Because you cannot expect a perfect man to come and show up to an imperfect woman. And guess what? We're all imperfect. So we're all going to always need to be working on ourselves. And the more we focus on that is the more we strive to be better. And guess what? When you strive and you become a better version of yourself, guess what you're going to attract? The better version of him. So if you say you want this amazing king, prepare that palace for this king, queen.
And you prepare that palace by what? Preparing this?
Yourself. Yes. Yourself. That's where it starts. And the majority of the times, it starts in here. The mind. That's what needs to be switched, is the mind.
You can look upset.
I'm not upset. I'm passionate.
The whole body shaking. The mind. I love the passion. I really do love the passion. And I definitely can see the growth. And
you saw the vein pop from my head.
My eyes just popped out in the middle of her forehead. Like a female gland is just at the third eye is just pushing out. But you know what? I agree with you. We cannot switch or paradigm or switch anything if we don't work on this vessel. You know, we have to have that personal relationship with this vessel. You know, last week I did a Zoom call with 70 women online. I was talking about, you know, self-love and mindfulness and the whole 9 yard. And a couple of the ladies on the call, you know, we're talking about re-examining vagina, the whole 9 yard. Sorry, I'm coming off a topic, the power meet, but just to give you.
Oh, it's cool. That's a part of it too.
You know, and she said she's never looked at her vagina. All she's done, this is just one particular person I'm speaking about. All she's ever done is take a shower, wipe it off, and put her underwear on, but she's never taken the time to examine herself. I asked her if she has children, and she says yes. And I said, you have never examined that place where her little human, somebody that you created, come from? And she says no, because of how she was grown up. Or you know, it's about don't look, don't do this, don't do that. And the thing about it is, I thought it was a West Indian Jamaican thing back in the days, not anymore. Not that I'm doing my business. And it's woman of color, another woman of color. We're gonna go on another commercial break, and so when we come back, we're gonna continue.
This is Adrena, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
Hey, this is Bay Bright, the bad boy indie soul, Bright Vision Entertainment CEO, and you're chilling, listening to iLive Radio. Keep it locked. Keep it locked. Keep it.
This is Cheryl Brooks, and you're listening to iLive Radio, supporting independent artists and their music.
Hello, I am Erica, and you're listening to iLive Radio with some of the best independent artists from around the world.
What up? It's your girl Shanaz, and you're listening to some of the best independent soul music from around the world with iLive Radio.
This is Miss Care, keeping you connected with your iLive 5x5, brought to you by iLive Music, sponsored by Independent Hype, and powered by The Hook Entertainment. Contribute to the conversation by using hashtag iLive5x5.
For the latest and greatest in soul music and more, stay tuned to iLive Radio throughout the week.
Connect with our team at iliveradio.com or follow us at iLive Radio across social platforms.
You're listening to iLive Radio, www.iliveradio.com.
Welcome back, Rio and Mika at iLive Radio. So anyone that's joining us tonight, we're talking about attracting your power mate. Thanks and welcome back, guys. So, we were just talking about how people are just not in love with even their own personal bodies, and the fact that someone cannot look themselves, not only in their eyes or their own private part, to even love that, how are they going to be able to love someone else? So Mika, you mentioned that's even a part of your curriculum.
Yes.
You want to embellish on that a little bit?
Absolutely. And it really all boils down to, you can't expect someone to know how to make you feel something or know how to treat, especially our physical parts, if we don't even know how to treat our physical parts. Right? So we expect, as a woman, we expect a man to come in and he's supposed to know how to romance us. He's supposed to know where to touch us, what makes us tick, what gets us off. But how is he supposed to know that? He just met us. We've known ourselves our whole lives. Right? So it's like, I can't say, oh, baby, touch me here. Oh, do this. Don't do that. I can't say that to him. If I don't know that myself.
Wow, that's so powerful, because it's true. And in speaking to the one particular lady too, and I asked her, I says, have you ever had an orgasm? And she says, never. She was never taught to pleasure herself.
Okay.
It was more pleasing the man. But it's funny, and why I loved that she was honest. So she opened up by saying that, and after that, I swear maybe another 30 or 40 women who was brave enough also start addressing this.
Exactly.
And this is the thing. So that's one of the reasons why I love what you're doing, you and Rio, teaching people about unlearning and building up, just to be open to the possibility, but it starts with self. And I mean, a lot of my coaching is about that as well. Why would someone, Mika and Rio, come and let you be their coach at Power Mate? Because there's so much groups out there. What's so different about Power Mate groups?
Well, that's a great question. The people that are, first of all, not everybody, and I want to make it clear for your listeners, not everybody's going to attract their power mate.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Not everybody's going to be willing to do the work to attract their power mate. Not everybody's going to do what it takes to maintain a power mate relationship. So no, not everybody's going to get it. But when they do come to us, they're looking for a relationship that breaks and goes beyond the four walls of their home. They're looking for a partner that wants a progressive relationship, not just let's get married and settle like this is a finish line. Marriage is the starting line. And if you want a relationship like that, those people come to us. The people that need a partner that's supportive, they're bosses in their own right, they're entrepreneurs, they have places they're trying to go, they have a purpose. They come to us. So we don't really deal with a lot of people who just want love to satisfy ego. We don't deal with a lot of people that want to have love and just sit on the couch for the rest of their lives until they die together. That's fine if you want that. But what we are looking for and who we coach and how we coach is all about progression. We teach vision, plan, action, and that's a continuous process. So once you get into a relationship and you find your power mate, your journey is just beginning, right? So you guys can both get to the end goal and your final destination together. So that's what we teach. Those are the people that are attracted to us.
That was great. And I'm just going to add the person that will come to us that say, Rio and Mika, I want to work with you guys. I want to be a part of whatever you're doing. This person is tired. They are frustrated. They're tired of meeting people over and over. They're tired of going on first dates. And that's it. It's first dates. They're tired of saying, but I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I've put in the work. But then when you ask them, they don't know what work they've put in. They're looking for the opportunity to say, yes, I feel like I've connected with myself and my core. And now I can verbalize to someone to say, this is what I'm looking for in a relationship. This is where I'm at. And I'm not ready to just meet anybody. I'm ready to meet that person that God designed specifically for me at this phase and at this stage of my life. I am ready.
Okay.
And then we say, okay, let's go.
Okay, so your group is more ideally for women who want to unlearn a lot of stuff. It's not necessarily a connection on.
It's both.
It's both. Okay.
It's both.
All right.
Listen, the thing is, right? It's not just for women. There's men in the group as well. People need to understand it's called single and ready. So when the women are ready and the men are ready, there's something magical that happens when you start a process. Rio talks about vision, plan, action. The majority, I'm going to say 95% of the time, they come to us with the vision, right? And they just need the plan so that they can execute and take action. There's something magical that happens when they get a custom plan and then they start to take action. The law of attraction does its work. We have people in there that have connected and have been having a long distance relationship now. Right? People that are making plans to get married. People
from your group.
Yes. People that are making plans to move countries. People that are making plans to move across the country. We had one young lady, she had a friend in her life and she invited him to the group saying, oh, maybe you can find a really nice lady in the group. Come to realize, because they're now in the same environment and they start speaking the same language, come to realize it's the two of them that are power mates.
Wow, I love it.
Now she's planning to move across the country to go be with him.
Wow.
And have babies and do all that stuff.
So your group has a lot of Americans or Canadians?
Both. It's global, but the majority of our members are from Canada and the US.
So I'm going to use myself as an example, right? So, I think I'm ready. I believe that I'm ready, right? Good. So should I be at home just sitting and waiting for my partner, or should I go on these different sites? Should I flirt with somebody? How am I going to get my ID mate? What if I don't want to go pay for a dating site?
You don't have
to. Well, you know what you asked? That's a really good question. A lot of people have the same question. I feel like I'm ready, but now what? And that's where the plan comes in. So for some people, it depends on where they are. They are open to online dating. We always encourage online dating. We don't have any competition on any app whatsoever because we teach people how to better utilize the app. You know what happens? A lot of times people have bad online experiences because their online profiles suck. Like you're literally, your bio sucks, the way who you're communicating with sucks, and it's like you're putting the wrong worm in the sea, so to speak, right? So you're getting the wrong fish, and that's what's happening. So a lot of times once we do a reevaluation of what you're doing online, we find, oh, here's some holes, let's fix those holes, and then they start getting better quality people into their inbox. That's one thing. The second thing is that you brought up, you can never just sit at home and do anything if you're looking to attract something. You're not going to do that. The law of attraction, what people miss is the action part in the law of attraction. They miss that part. And so if you're going to sit and you want to, and I'm a meditation practitioner. I love meditation. I love my Zen time. I love that. But if I want to bring something into my life, it's going to require a little bit of action. Faith without works is dead. We all know that. So what am I going to do to bring this person into my life is the question. And am I going to do it with a professional that knows what they're doing, so I'm not just out here guessing on where I should be headed?
So what you're saying is don't sit home and wait.
Absolutely.
I need to go there and look.
A lot of times, the mistake that people make, they feel like, oh, the action I have to take is go on an online dating site. No, when I joined the group, it was for single Black people who love to travel. It wasn't to meet a man that I was going to marry. It's because I had a vested interest in travel and I was a single Black woman. That was it. It just so happened that there were 40,000 other people that were the exact same. And guess what? Because I was taking action, not just in my love life, but in other areas of my life, I was in motion. And in turn, that ended up attracting a result that I wanted to see.
Okay, you know what? You guys said so many beautiful things. I'm gonna go to Rio one more for a second. Rio, so what you mentioned that people sometimes when persons are looking for someone online, their bio suck. They're because the first thing they're going to see people when they're online dating is their profile, their picture, and their about. So what you're saying is Power Mate, your organization, help people fix up their bio on online dating. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. We do a full overhaul of your online dating situation. And what we also do, Donna, is pretty interesting. We have a quiz that we do, right? So people are normally in 1 of 4 categories. And those categories match well with another power mate. So for example, I'm a celebrity, she's a fighter. We mix very well. So we really take the complication out of dating, so you're fishing in the right pond. Because a lot of times we're trying to get people that are just like us. Those relationships don't work very well. So you want to find a complementary person, but there's a strategy to attract a complementary mate. So we go through that and we help people on a practical, logical sense. So yeah, we do get spiritual, of course. That's the basis of what we do, but we definitely have a logical, practical stance on how to attract a power mate.
So to very simply answer that question, it's way too much to be able to fit into this hour, but we actually have a membership that we're going to be launching in March called Power Mate Prep. So if anyone, you want to dive in a little bit deeper, you can actually go on the wait list to get more information. It's at the bottom of our website, powermates.io. Scroll to the bottom, you'll see the sign up so you can register to get more information as to when that's going to be released.
Okay, great. You know what? We only have like 3 minutes, but before I definitely want to do this. Just give me 5 takeaway quickly, but give me about the 3 top level takeaway for how someone can start ideally attracting their power mate.
I would say the first one is make a decision that this is what you really want to do, and you will absolutely do everything that you need to do to start attracting.
I would say real simply, get off your ass, right? You're going to have to get off your ass, and you're going to have to start dating with intention. And if you don't know how to date, there's a lot of people out here you're looking at too who can help you with that. So if you want to really attract what you want, you're going to have to go and get some help and quit trying to guess and quit listening to your auntie. She doesn't know. Quit listening to all these people that don't know what they're talking about. They're guessing. So there's a lot of people just guessing on relationships. It's too important to guess. Go get real help.
Okay. And give me another one.
The third is pay attention to what you allow in your space and who you allow in your space. And if it's not showing up or they're not showing up and you recognize that they're not in alignment with you and where you're at right now, they need to be removed to create the room for what it is that you're actually looking to attract.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mika and Rio. So we're going to tighten up this episode. Thank you so much, Mika and Rio from Power Mate, how to attract your ideal partner. Thank you so much. And just to tighten this up, they're saying in order for you to attract that perfect mate, you have to be ready mentally and spiritually. You have to make that decision intentionally And who is it that you want in your space? And you cannot sit and wait. You have to get up and move. Nobody's going to come and knock at your door. No mailman, nobody. So you have to get up and move and make the decision. This is what I want to do. And it starts with self. Make a decision. Who is it that you want? And go after it. Mika, Rio, thank you so much for joining me. We're going to see if we can put your information on the site so people can reach out to you. My name, yeah. So thank you. So ladies, everyone, please join me, Donna Savage, and I Live Radio every Tuesday at 8 p.m. where the action will always happen. Thank you so much. Peace out.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Hello and welcome to